Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and these are your February 2025 horoscope. February is the prelude to the most intense period of 2025, which will be March and April, because all the planets will be passing through Pisces and Aries in March and April, going retrograde, eclipses, changing signs. Oh, so exciting. But February is the preparation month with some very positive effects that we'll receive from the universe. First of all, it's Jupiter is turning direct. Here it is, my calendar, my 2025 calendar. You can have it now. It's 200 pages, almost interactive. But first of all, Jupiter around the 4th turns direct. And this is a great blessing. When Jupiter turns direct, here is the text for it, but you can start seeing results and rewards for previous actions. We can get the blessings from above, resolutions of moral problems of some sort, just the turning of the winds. Jupiter becomes much more stronger. I call it like double Jupiter when it starts turning direct, because it's energy, it's basically stationary pretty much the whole of February around the 11th, 12 degrees of Gemini, and it's a very auspicious degree because right behind Jupiter, where it's turning direct and it's going to become stronger and things will start moving forward for us, it's the most auspicious star in the sky, the star Aldebaran, which in ancient astrology is the star of wealth, of blessings, of fortune. So this is a good omen for the finances of the world. Jupiter is turning direct there. So hopefully, generally, all of us will see some financially, some improvement in your personal life. It will depend where it affects you, what kind of blessings this Jupiter with Aldebaran will bring. The bullseye, the luckiest star. But yes, that's the one good side of it. And we're going to have Venus entering into Aries where it's going to stay 3 months, the whole of February, the whole of March, then it skips April, and the whole of May. So when Venus is so long in a sign, it's going to give us blessings there in certain area of our life. Think back to 2017 around the spring. There was a similar situation there, but I'll go through each of the 12 signs to see. Venus always improves and makes better whatever area it passes through, despite of its retrograde motion, which will start in March. Its final goal is to make something perfect, more balanced, more worthy of our time, more pleasant, more easy to receive help there in some way, to improve it, to make it better. So certain areas of your life you're going to be making better and improving. And another big event is that Mars is turning direct towards the end of February, 23 degrees. It's been retrograde December, January, most of February. As I said, I expect this Mars retrograde to bring changes, corrections of the prices of real estate, of borders, of countries, and maybe stalling back wars because Mars is moving retrograde in some way. But there will be kind of like maybe endings of fights, of battles, or easing off of difficulties in such areas. If there was problems, they start getting fixed. If there was inflammatory conditions, flus, hopefully will become less so, and energy and productivity will increase. You might see the results of working hard on something and starting to see the results of it. And emotionally, people will not be as tense and so sensitive and touchy as they are during Mars retrograde. But that's mostly towards the end of the month that we'll see those improvements. And the other big event that is happening is the North Node with Neptune. We've never seen this in our lifetime, and we'll never see it again because Neptune will never be again in Pisces, and North Node with Neptune in Pisces is once in a lifetime experience. They're joining together. The whole February, March is under its influence. They're within a degree all the time together. It's going to get surreal, guys. Neptune is otherworldly planet. Pisces is otherworldly energy. North Node, wherever it goes and joins Neptune in Pisces, it's like you're in some LSD trip. Some of you will be waking up and wondering, do I live on Earth, or what is this different reality? I'm a parallel world of some sort. You'll see it maybe on the news that it's a lot of new energy. North Node starts a new cycle with Neptune for which will be 16 years old, but it's very Piscean. It's unfamiliar. Pisces is unfamiliar. It feels foreign. It's very different. You're waking up in a new world, in a new reality. This will happen in your personal life as well. And also intuition will be through the roof this month. People will be dreaming about past events, past life, future events, because the wall between the worlds thin with this really like a portal to another dimension, Neptune and North Node together. So in some areas of your life, depending where it falls from your ascendant, sun or moon, you might have like epiphanies. God might show you directly through your third eye or through intuitions and hunches and inspirations, some secrets that were revealed for you and that you'll become aware of. But also there is a negative side to Neptune North Node, because all the negative vibrations of Pisces and Neptune can escalate through the North Node. Fears, blame, guilt, fear of the unknown, this kind of low vibrational emotions that is just fears, paranoia, suspicions as well, victimhood states. And so be careful, stay at the high vibrations the whole 2 months, February and March. I would advise you, if you can listen to classical music, to bring in the high vibrations of Neptune, North Node, Pisces, be around nature more, have introspective time alone. We're going to have a lot of Pisces planets, as you can see, not just February, but March and April. So many planets will be there. It's going to be crazy. So this inner work and introspection is good to do, but something magical can come through Neptune North Node, because they open portals to the astral. If you're connected to the high astral, if you're naturally forgiving, kind person, if you can let go of the past, if you can let go of things that no longer serve you, you can have like a divine gift of blessing. Neptune is divine love, unconditional love, and divine grace. And the North Node enhances it in Pisces. So like a miraculous events and even actual miracles, I don't know, Fatima scale can happen around the world, but in your personal life as well, where you're freed from karmas you've been carrying for a long time. Pisces is the last time of paying off the karma. Neptune is also the same energy. The North Node is, kind of escalates all this. So you pay off some debt and you're freed from something. A miracle happens in your life. Like God gives you through unconditional love, not because you deserve it, because God is loving, the Creator is loving. If you turn towards in a prayerful condition, an introspective condition, if you give yourself time after you wake up to go within, there can be some true miracles that happen. And just dreams will be crazy. Just to warn you, Neptune with the North Node, you might be dreaming of things that very vivid dreams that come to the surface, sometimes almost real. Like, just be aware, maybe a bit more rest in February and in March with the so many Pisces energies. But Mars is turning direct, so things will start becoming. But Mars turns direct at the end of February, and Venus and Mercury turn retrograde in March. So it's non-stop February, March. So January, February, March, April. After April, things start becoming much more smoother, guys. But just the preparation phase, and use the Piscean energy of Neptune and the North Node to manifest. And Saturn is there. Neptune is a high ideal. Connect yourself to high refined feelings through art, through music, through imagining how you want things to be, the ideal version of it. And Saturn is there, can make it happen over the next 2-3 months to manifest it. Use this connection to the higher world, so otherwise you don't want to connect to the inner fears, the lower astral, and deception. You have to be careful with Neptune North Node. There'll be many charismatic figures that appear, prophets, gurus, saviors of the world. Neptune Pisces is to save, and people feel very excited about that. But the bubble will quickly burst if such figures are not truthful and aligned to divine order, whether they're rulers, leaders, or people in your personal life. If they're promising you the moon and the stars, which these holes will be very high in February, March, because in April, the North Node and Saturn join together. So the bubble will burst. Saturn is a corrective influence down to earth, And if you don't see results, you have to correct something, or you see the lies, or if it was like a proper inspirational figure or idea you had, you can start manifesting it towards April. This ideal that comes to you now, this inspiration that you divinely download. So wow, what a magical, what a surreal, what another worldly energy we are gonna have. It's gonna get weird, it's gonna get fantastic, it's gonna get intense emotionally. And let's dive into the 12 signs. If you want my personal horoscope for each of the 12 signs for 2025, I'm putting a link below. Each 2.5 hours for each sign. I've poured my soul and heart in them. We sold thousands so far, no refunds, no one has asked for one. People are loving them. If you want to try for your personal sign, I recommend Ascendant. And if you want all 3 Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, it's a discount price. Putting a link below, or the calendar, so you know what is happening every day of the year. But now let's begin for the 12 signs. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, February 2025. Aquarius, starting with the good news from the beginning of the month, the first 3 or 4 days, Jupiter is turning direct in your 5th house. That's one of the luckiest houses in astrology. Jupiter has been moving retrograde for the last 4 months almost. So kind of luck and progress has been a bit stagnant, let's say. But Jupiter will stay in your 5th house, moving direct till June. So you have a rare once-in-a-year opportunity starting now from February to really rake in the good karma from past lives or from this life, because 5th house is the storehouse of our good actions. And of course, there are storehouses of our bad actions. When they activated, we might see the results of this. But now it's time for you for reaping of some of this good karma. With Jupiter turning direct on a very fortunate star, Aldebaran, probably the most fortunate star according to Hermes, ancient astrologer and wise person. Aldebaran is fortune, luck, good opportunities, protection from divine forces. So what is 5th house? How can this luck come to you? Well, it can come in the form of knowledge sometimes. You discover some knowledge that you're passionate about, that you're inspired about, that brings, because 5th house, the house of learning, it's one of the houses of learning of school of students and so on. You can, if you're a teacher, you can expand your student clientele, for example. Or you can reconnect closer with your children if there was some unclarity about the direction of the life of your children or their behavior or your relationship with them, and you are trying to correct the thing for different ways. When Jupiter, or some complications there, when Jupiter starts moving direct, there can be some very positive development with your children there, firstborn, or some growth spurt that starts happening, some more wisdom coming through your children, more goodwill between them, or will with them. Or if you're trying to get pregnant, it might be easier because 5th house is the house of creation. And how do we create? We create children, or we can create new ideas. Because Gemini is the 5th house for you, a lot of the creations for Aquarius are connected to the mind, new ideas. That's why Aquarians are so smart, they say. This is the house of intelligence, the 5th house. But creative intelligence, where you think of something original, something divinely outsourced from above, where you co-create with God. So you might have an idea about a business, an idea about a website, an idea about a podcast, which is very Geminian in nature, about content creation, about some knowledge, some information that starts moving forward. Or if such projects have been stalled, now they start moving forward. Or is it a website? Is it a book you're writing? Is it you start moving ahead forward with such ideas and with such creations, and your creativity starts flowing stronger than before, more, Jupiter is almost like stationary direct in the whole of February, so it's 2 times more potent. That's why I'm putting 2 Jupiters here. It's like having 2 times Jupiter there. So first of all, it unlocks your luck more, your positivity, your desire to learn and experiment and try new things, because it's the house of playing as well. And Gemini is a very playful, experimental sign. So be willing to try new hobbies, some sports, something that makes you feel alive, that makes the body, the energy flow from you. I started working out, and for the first time in my life, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I look forward to it. Still a bit of an effort, but when Jupiter turns direct, you can start feeling it more like joy, playful, like playing almost. And actually, my word for 2025 is playfulness. And I was like, why did I stop at playfulness? I really want to have more laughter, more playfulness, more childlike fun and creativity and joy from life. Well, Jupiter is in my 5th house, and it's going to start, because I'm Aquarius rising, it's going to start coming more naturally for us Aquarians when Jupiter starts moving direct from February. You can discover a new passion, new creativity, new project to put your energy into, or as I said, it can be even very gainful down over the next 12 years. Whatever idea you come or creative project you're creating on, you're working on now, start working for the next 4 months, because Jupiter becomes direct on a star of wealth and opportunities and blessings. It's a star in the constellation of Taurus, the eye of the bull. It is connected to money as well, so some creative ideas of yours can grow into something good after that, materially. 5th house is also speculative investments. It's a bit like gambling. It's like when you win something, you've put here on green or red, you've put $10, you make $200 out of it, for example, or you've invested in some crypto, that was 30p, and now it becomes over the next 3-4 months $10. And people, that's not fair, that's pure luck. Yeah, it's pure luck, but if you have the good karma, if you've done good deeds, if you're a decent human being, you definitely have good karma, it can get unlocked. And if you've done some speculative investments or invested in some startup or whatever, or in something that you took a risk, basically, they call it like a risky investment. You took a risk, or some idea of yours, start a business of yours, if you've invested, or some other idea, it can start paying off now. The good karma of it can be unlocked. Now, let's not forget 5th house is in love. What makes us more alive than being in love or creating something or being around children? Well, that's being in love. That's probably the thing that makes me most alive, except when I create content for you, of course. Well, you can revive new life into a love relationship, or if there was difficulty in a romantic relationship, it starts improving. Or maybe a new romantic relationship can appear for you over the next 4 or 5 months while Jupiter is still in the 5th house. That feels easy, that feels joyful, that feels expanding. All right, but there are different ways of showing your love and it's also the house of having fun, holidays, enjoyments. I started rediscovered reading again. I was doing audiobooks, but now it's like with Jupiter in the 5th house, I want to read, and all these kind of things, that what you call hobbies, or things that warm your heart when you do them, makes you feel like in the flow as well. All right, that's the good news. And Jupiter is protecting you physically, health-wise, or your private life. It's your moon in Aquarius, and body and health as well, sun, moon, or ascendant, the whole period till June. Jupiter trine to the 3rd house, definitely improvement of health on all levels, and optimism overall, and joyfulness. A little bit, at least, you'll feel more joyful, more fun from life. Definitely for the first time in years. I don't have anhedonia. I can feel joy from everyday things. But Jupiter is very money oriented for you, because it rules 2nd house, 11th house, gains, savings, in the 5th house of luck. It can be financially related to some of you as well, especially if you have your own creations and can benefit in them from some way. Now, the other big event is that North Node and Venus is entering Aries, your 3rd house, and it will stay there till May, excluding April, where it's going to move back to your 2nd house. But for 3 months, February, March, and May, it's going to be in your 3rd house. That's a long time for Venus to stay in one sign. Usually it just goes for 1 month through a sign. And Venus is a benefic, especially positive benefic, which means it can do very good stuff for Aquarius. Actually, Jupiter doesn't help Aquarius so much because it doesn't rule the lucky houses, but it is in a lucky house for you now, so it can do good. But Venus, especially Venus staying in a sign for 3-4 months, which means it goes retrograde there, direct, retrograde, direct, is where the real good things can happen for Aquarius, because Venus rules your ninth house, which is a lucky house, house of self-improvement, and a fourth house, angular house, which is again a very positive house. So in ancient Vedic astrology, they said Venus, and this is tropical zodiac though, Venus is very positive for Aquarius, and I've seen it. Venus brings me more stuff than Jupiter. So where will the good stuff happen for Aquarius? Third house, actually roll back in 2617, when Venus was retrograde in Aries again. And you might get some idea. It's not going to be the same, but something similar around the spring again. Of course, the other planets are in different places. So, but something good things come to you through the third house. I remember that was the time, those 3-4 months, Venus was retrograde in my third house back then, was when third house is administration, business, communication. I outsourced and I found help. Venus means help. To find help to make it easy with all my emails, with all my administrative work. It was a great blessing. I had not such a good administrator, and I kind of found a much better and organize the schedules with more joy and find pleasure in doing that. There was a crisis period because when Venus goes retrograde in March for you, when some of those matters might be a bit more complicated, where you have to find a different solution, but you have 3-4 months actually and the final result will be in May, when, for example, you'd have better communications, when you'd have upgraded your communication devices, for example, as well, improve your safety for, I don't know, like improved your communications or created something written, spoken, which is, again, third house is writing, speaking, media, marketing. You can improve your marketing, for example, if you have business, connectivity to clients. Third house is websites as well, just like Gemini. So there's a bit of a double whammy here. Jupiter in Gemini helping in the fifth house with such things, Venus in the third house, which is Geminian in energy. And for example, you can work on some website during the retrograde period. It might have to correct something, but work on some writing again, a book, a project, a business project, business idea on paper or some course, or learning a skill that if you try and learn something now, starting from February, it will come to you with ease. Venus gives things with ease. March might be a bit more difficult, or some kind of extra efforts, but still the final result can be great. For example, learn to drive a car, learn to ride a horse, learn to do marketing, to do crypto. I don't know, anything which is about learning new skills is the third house. And Venus there, this very blessed, lucky planet for you, allows you to go through those things and to learn those difficult things with more ease than other times. Sometimes when we try to learn something, it just doesn't work so easy, but now it will. And you can study a course, for example. I'm starting driving license. I'm gonna get it finally. With Venus, as long as you don't get lazy, that's the danger of Venus. But it will come with more ease, maybe from the first try. Maybe if I try in May to take my exam when Venus is direct in the third already. And third house can be trips. That can be a good time for trips the next 3-4 months. Short trips, I don't know, next state, short trips, 3-4 days or a week somewhere, out and about, for getting a better vehicle as well. For getting, and when it goes retrograde, maybe trips will be a bit more complicated in March, but you can be going back to a place that you love, for example. Yeah, the retrograde period, you might have to do some changes with car corrections, with devices, with communications, and so on. But it's good for any written, spoken projects to improve relationships with siblings when it goes retrograde. If you haven't been in touch with siblings, relatives, friends, to connect with them, that's more in March. People from the past will come into your life to reconnect. But otherwise, your communication will improve. You'd have like a silver tongue expression. Venus is very like honey, and the words that you use, the communication uh, can go very pleasantly, joyfully. If you have some papers, some important communications, important things to say with someone. That can be a period when Venus can help with all of those things. So improvement in the life of siblings, relatives, good news coming from there, improving relationship. When it's retrograde, you might have to patch up some and bury the hatchet. But Venus wants to balance and bring more perfection, more balance. Venus is the most perfect planet in the solar system. Its axis is absolutely straight. So there is like the need to balance, to perfect how you communicate. Even you can even study or learn something how to communicate with others, or meta communication. Or I'm gonna be taking a course in February with Christina about face reading and palm reading. It is about being immediately aware of the environment around you, which is the third house. So face reading, palm reading, all such kind of, and Venus rules your ninth house of higher knowledge. So study something about higher knowledge, meta communication. So any other skill, you might find lifelong love and passion for such a thing there. All right. Then we covered the good planets, Jupiter and Venus, which are definitely helping you. And we said about what, but now we're going to have the whole month Neptune conjunct the North Node, which happens only once every 16 years and never again in Pisces in your second house. So what is happening there? Neptune really in Pisces is very Neptunian, really enhanced by the North Node, like double whammy. North Node expands the Neptunian energy, the Piscean energy. That's in your second house. So now, if you're high vibrational, if you're an honest person, if your money is not your idol and your God, and it can be like unconditional gift from God, because this is divine blessing and divine unconditional love, Neptune energy enhanced in Pisces. Financially, for some of you, it can be like the gates opening and flooding in, and say Jupiter also there might be helping from the fifth. As we said, it's also kind of related with somehow. But here's like financially, for example, it can, but you need to be like honest person. You need to be vibrating at the high vibration of Neptune. You might release some ancestral curse financially. Who knows? Neptune makes miracles. Or there can be some new source of income that comes to you through Neptunian ways that you notice over the next 2-3 months, through music, through fine art, through storytelling, through anything that tickles the imagination, through spirituality, through healing. Or maybe you can do some, because second house is very material house, but Neptune gives if you're not attached. If you are Neptune gives if you've been doing something to help others, and then Neptune can give you when it's so enhanced in the second house. If you've been doing something selflessly, not like how much am I gonna do and the money being the only object, it doesn't mean doing it for free necessarily, but if money hasn't been the ultimate goal, now Neptune can really reward you with the North Node there financially or materially, with more support, with more stability in some way, or some new opportunity. But if a new source of income is coming over the next 3 months with this Neptune North Node conjunction, it's Neptunian in nature. And I mentioned what it is, from foreign places or something more spiritual, art or music. If there is such kind of source of income you can do, or investing in something Neptunian, something more intangible, might be even crypto. I don't know how tangible that is, or I don't know. But if But also there's the low vibration of Neptune North Node. You have to be careful for being conned financially. Someone very glamorous with big promises. Rahu is an imposter in ancient astrology who pretends, who is a trickster. And Neptune is delusion. So, hopefully you vibrate at a high vibration. And of course, you're not love and peace and everything is great. Saturn is there. Critical thinking is necessary. But definitely opportunities can come. But you need to be careful that not some pyramids come too good to be true. And even there might be a very good opportunity that comes financially, like a blessing from God, but there is something not truly realistic about it, or not truly like you imagine it some way, but you find out later on that there need to be some corrections there to be more grounded and realistic and practical. And this will come within a couple of months because the North Node will connect with Saturn. So whatever it brought to start a new cycle. So whatever it brought through Neptune as a new opportunity, like a gift from above. When it comes to Saturn, either the scam will be exposed and the bubble burst, or whatever is not realistic or not fully practical will be corrected and made more practical so you can continue ahead. So first comes the ideal, the oh wow, inspiration, and then comes the correction, and let's ground ourselves with be more realistic. How can it make it happen for real? But yeah, there is the danger not to be misled or spend too much on something ephemeral that poof, But they can be, as I said, investments in something Neptunian, I don't know, overseas, in water, in oceans, and all these other Neptunian topics. All right, but you see there's a lot of planets in the second house, so money, security, financial matters are important. And there is like a portal here of Neptune North Node that it's a bit clashing energy, material and spiritual, but sometimes for Aquarians, material matters can happen by miracle almost somehow because they have Neptune, Pisces in their second house, and it's kind of more by luck sometimes as well. Anyway, there might be some expenses, as I said, and those expenses might be for holidays, Neptune, for retreats, for hotels, for escaping, for healing and spiritual matters and so on. But Saturn kind of keeps you grounded, and towards March and April even more. They can be, second house is how you eat, your teeth, the food. North Node and Neptune, I don't know, fake teeth. I'm trying to make up stuff here, but yeah, if you have to do some beautifying thing on your teeth, because Neptune is glamour, is refinement, beauty, correction, illusion. Well, you can do this now, but when Venus and Mercury go retrograde in your second house, you might do corrective work on some work that's already been done, like changing whatever, something. Second house is the face. So anything there as well, beautifying. Neptune is paling influences. To remove spots, for example, might be good. Neptune North Node in the second house, skin spots on the face or whatever. Second house is the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the possessions we have. Might be good, like actually some icon or some spiritual object that to decorate your home with, because second house more like the movable objects, not the home itself, but there might be the furniture, the trinkets you decorate around, or your wardrobe, your clothes, Neptunian nature to them. More pastel colors, more fairy colors in a sense, or objects of spiritual importance to you. Like icons or mandalas. This is a good remedy for Neptune North Node. Otherwise, they can be expenses. Neptune is like flows, the North Node expands it. So your spending might be, expansive. And and what was I talking about? Can you have loss of teeth? I've never seen this conjunction Neptune before, so we'll see what comes out. It'd be funny to read. Did you lose objects or because Neptune is this energy of loss that the North Node can enhance. Or did you gain Neptunian objects, or did you lose something? Water damaged it in some way, because the second house is all valuables. Or second house is food we eat. I'll be careful here. Neptune can be drugs, alcohol. Neptune can be, and North Node can enhance it, or chemicals. I'll take more water in as well. Neptune, that's the good side of Neptune. Or you might discover kind of liquids that help you in some way, electrolytes. I don't know, this is Neptunian in nature as well. Saline, something to introduce into your diet that's more Neptunian. I don't know, fish. Or for me, Neptune is definitely liquids. But yeah, be careful about the chemical side of things, that you don't get some poisoning. That's like minor consideration. I don't think we should stop at it too much. Almost spiritual diet. For example, stopping meat because not because how you want to look, but because of spiritual considerations. That's another way you can do this manifestation. But you see, lots of planets in the second house: money, finances, resources, the material reality, routines in daily life, and Mars in the other house of routines. Second house is routines. Sixth house is also clothes, food. So there's some focus there. Maybe buying clothes that are more glamorous with Neptune and the North Node, but practical as well. Saturn, that will keep their quality and value. So investing, say, in Chanel jacket rather than in 10 pullovers, and the Chanel jacket can increase its value down the line. Something a little bit more extravagant with this Neptune here, changing of your wardrobe that can happen in your clothes. But Mars is also in your sixth house, another material house of daily routines, and it's retrograde most of February, and it's been retrograde in January, December, January, February. I don't know about you, but I can tell you what happened in my life. I started working out. I went back to working out pretty much from the beginning. Even Mars went there, and I've stuck with it. So Mars, for a very long time, 6 months in our sixth house, can make us change our health by working out, by introducing different, using willpower to change that. And if you've been putting the efforts, when Mars starts moving direct by the end of February 23rd, 24th, it would be so ingrained in your routine that it will not require the effort anymore. It will become automatic, basically, and it will be much easier. But while retrograde, you're still putting the efforts, and you have to push yourself to do it, even if you don't want to, if you're changing your health in some way. Plus, I've been working on project that I need to complete. I still haven't completed. Mars retrograde there. I know maybe there were some delays. That for me is like the guys I'm working with. I said, "Come on, let's finish it. We've been working it for 6 years. I want to finish it now." And they said, "Oh, we'll be free from February. We have another project to finish it." And I'm okay. They delayed the project again, but Mars starts turning direct. So if there were some complications at your work, delays or frustrations or things not working out, or extra efforts or some changes that were happening at your work, when Mars turns direct towards the end of the month, it will start correcting. You'll start seeing the results of those extra efforts. So it will start moving forward. And you have 2 months after that, April, March, and April, where Mars continues to be in your sixth house. So things pick up and move forward. And whatever things you corrected, it will start giving the results. So if there were changes at your work that was more stressful, you become more used to them, and things at your everyday routines and work environment feel more natural when it turns direct. It doesn't require so much effort. If you have to refine certain skills or correct certain job and projects, they start moving up. Or if you had some health complications while Mars was retrograde in your sixth house, especially connected to acute conditions, to inflammation. I went through the flu with Mars retrograde there. Great. Everyone in the house went. Well, it starts, your body starts, when Mars starts turning direct, the complications start improving, you start finding solutions, and so on. So matters on that level improve. Also, sixth house is debt. If you had some debt, and it might be material like a student loan you're paying or whatever, or debt to someone, if there were complications, someone not returning you debt, Mars starts turning direct. Hopefully there's good resolution, or you might be able, if you refinanced or something, or start paying off your debt when Mars starts turning direct, because you did some changes and you decided to correct this, so you're no longer in debt and you start moving forward with that. Or it might be that some duty or responsibility, a debt towards someone else or towards some other, might be like a karmic debt sometimes. We have karmic debts. Well, Mars starts turning direct, it's almost like you've paid off the debt and you can start moving forward. But I would use this influence definitely to get unfinished work done, to make changes with my work and how I work, and to complete old projects. And when it turns direct, they start moving forward to giving results, and also to work on the health. Otherwise, it can give some health complications. So you see, yes, we have beautiful Jupiter in the fifth house protecting our health, but Mars here wants to upgrade it to, Mars is fixer-upper. Mars loves being in the sixth house because it loves to fix problems. So problems you've been having, I've been fixing a lot of problems I've been having, especially with health, especially with routines, especially with, so that's the perfect time for it. But Jupiter is protecting your health by trying here. Venus, as I said, fantastic for any communication, marketing, business, trips, endeavors of any sorts, writing, speaking. But really the big focus here, and of course, the sun is in your first house. I forgot. Happy birthday, Aquarius. Life energy returns back to you in February. You get regenerated, renewed, new beginnings. Fantastic for you to start, and Jupiter moving direct as well. Yep. There you go, Aquarius. Thank you. But you see the big focus on taking care of everyday things, taking care of money, of work, of taking care of your health, of the practical side of life. You can really have achieved great strides there. Money, work, responsibilities, duties, routines. Thank you. And of course, there's some glamour for you, Jupiter in the fifth house, and fun and joy is not so all work. So there's a balance.